I think one of the success factors of this project is the level of the people that we have been able to gather. I'm really mind blown of the intellectual level and of the sharpness of the minds that we have in the room when we do these meetings, all those young, highly intelligent people that really bring so many new ideas and energy. And I think it's exceptional to INTERCEPT. I must say it's quite different from other projects where I have been part of, and it's probably because the project is so innovative that everybody is extremely motivated.
This is certainly one of the most ambitious projects that I have started, and I'm very excited about that. But when you think about it, if we succeed, I think it will be huge, because it could lead to prevention of Crohn's disease, which is obviously what would be the final goal, and it would be amazing for the patients and their families.
I think what sets INTERCEPT apart from my previous experiences is that there is a very well-defined set of accountability for every partner involved in here. And I personally believe the vision of INTERCEPT, the catchphrase, it's very catchy, seeing a world without Crohn's disease. And then to actuate on that mission, every partner needs to have a clear understanding of what their roles and responsibilities are. And I believe INTERCEPT has done a really good job keeping up with that, giving everybody and every partner a voice and a space to be and contribute to the program as well.
Because we are different horizons joining together, and for this fantastic project. So to me, it's confirming how valuable it is to work together. But what is critical is to keep the good spirit of collaboration. This is why this kind of meeting is very important.
This is why the INTERCEPT study, personally to me, is very exciting, as well as it brings this unique opportunity. The INTERCEPT would not be the same if it was just the academic partners or just the industry partners. It's the two of them coming together that actually brings value for the patients. In which case, in this case, the academic focus is to build this biomarker signature that identifies the disease, the clinical disease, before it begins. In essence, the preclinical Crohn's disease space. And as industry partners, we want to take that insight and actually see if we can intervene.
So within 1 year, we already have achieved a lot. First, the basis of the development of the protocol, of course, is the validation of the predictors, of the blood risk score. And this is the part that we have done in US, through the PROMISE consortium. And we have made great advancements. So we are close, I believe, to have validated blood risk score, at least in the US, that will need to be validated in INTERCEPT. So this is already a great achievement.
What I'm most excited about is that the data has been analyzed now for the retrospective cohort, which forms the foundation of taking the insights from that, from a biomarker perspective, to then validate it in independent prospective cohorts, and also to run the next study, which is based on enrolling first-degree relatives as well. So we've seen that initial sneak preview of the fact that there is promise here, and which has been published on already, and that is what excites me for the coming year. We know we have to build on that.
Then, of course, the clinical trial is being prepared, and the work package 3. Predict CD, where 10,000 individuals across the continent will be recruited. Meanwhile, we already start the screening. We now have the app ready for first-degree relatives to enter their data. Soon materials are going to be collected, and I hope that by the end of 2026, the vast majority of the 10,000 will have been recruited across Europe.
This is a huge undertaking. So as soon as we will see the first-degree relatives being recruited and so on, this will be, I think, a very important milestone in the project.
To finally take all the biomarker data that we are generating from retrospective and validation cohorts to actually build a predictive model. And a model like this has never been built within the space of IBD, which actually predicts the onset of disease with about 2 years of lead time available to do something in that time for those patients. or pre-patients rather. And this is what we expect in this coming year, and it actually sets the stage for the interventional trial that is to follow the whole CD. So this year is probably the most critical and the most exciting from the INTERCEPT perspective.
We have to understand that when we are doing this, of course there is a project by itself, and the project is basically to build this predictive tool, to recruit first degree relatives, and eventually to do the prevention trial. But it's very clear that along the line, by looking at biomarkers across different countries and so on, we are learning a lot about the pathophysiology of the disease, because we are looking at proteomics, we are looking at glycomics, antibodies, and so on. So I think this project, above what we already expect, which is huge, which is this prevention study, will go even beyond, because I'm certain that we will learn a lot about basically what's the cause of Crohn's disease.
Well, the enthusiasm of all the collaborators and partners really comes from the progress that we make. In the background, there's almost every month there is new data that support our hypothesis that it is possible to diagnose pre-clinical disease. And all that knowledge is coming together in our project. So when we will eventually have an algorithm and a number of proteins predicting the disease, it's almost certain that the project will succeed and that we will make, well, an important impact for the population.